recognized symbol of excellence in sports entertainment.
And welcome to beautiful Baltimore, Maryland for the Great American Bash Glory Days. I'm your host, Gotmark76. We have a great show lined up for you today. The National Wrestling Alliance presents its summer pay-per-view event. The main event, Lex Luger will challenge Nature Boy Ric Flair for the NWA World Heavyweight Title. This is Lex Luger's final opportunity. However, not as all bad. If any member of the Horsemen interferes on behalf of the Nature Boy Ric Flair, he will lose the world title to Lex Luger, thus putting pressure on both of these men to win this big matchup. The U.S. title will be on the line as Sting challenges Horseman member Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff. The World Television title on the line. However, Terry Funk was scheduled to defend against Eddie Gilbert. Eddie Gilbert this past weekend was taken out by members of Doom. So the NWA Board of Directors will name a replacement for Terry Funk's opponent later on in the broadcast. We start today's show with the two-ring King of the Hill Battle Royal. There will be two 8-man Battle Royals going on at the same time. The winner of each Battle Royal will face each other for $50,000. Without further ado, let's head down to ringside. And away we go. I will do my best to call all the action as 16 of the top superstars in the NWA are in the ring. Ring 1 has Mad Dog Bud Sawyer, Ranger Ross, Dan Spivey, Big Van Vader, Ron Simmons, Stan Lane, Brad Armstrong, and Flying Brian Pillman. Ring 2 has Bob Eaton. Oh, and Mike Rotundi eliminated, so he's gone. The Great Muta, Cactus Jack, Butch Reed, Terry Gordy, and Sid Vicious. And Cactus Jack and Sid Vicious going at it. And there's a match I'd love to see as Terry Gordy rams Butch Reed into the turnbuckle. The Great Muta working over Bobby Eaton. And Sawyer into the ropes and is met by Big Van Vader, but oh, a fireman's carry by Vader. And Sid Vicious with an airplane spin down on Cactus. I think we're going to need to let the action take over here with a big boot by Sid Vicious on Cactus. His partner Spivey takes down Flying Brian Pillman into ring 1. And Ron Simmons working over Stan Lane. The Midnight Express and Doom will be meeting in the NWA World Television Tag Team Title Tournament. That will be a round 2 matchup. Owen Vader clothesline Stan Lane up and over the top rope. Owen Sid eliminates Cactus Jack. Ring 2 is down to 5. And I believe that was the first elimination for Ring 1. And Gordy trying to get the fans here in Baltimore behind him, but it could have been a victim for being through Owen. I think Brad Armstrong. Brad Armstrong there. Ranger Ross went over the top rope, courtesy of Big Dan Spivey. And Sid Vicious and Terry Gordy going at it. There's another match I'd love to see. As Muta throws out Butch Reed. Pillman dangerously close to being eliminated by Bud Sawyer. As Ron Simmons goes after Dan Spivey. Both of these men managed by Teddy Long. As Spivey throws Ron Simmons up and over. And And up and over goes Pillman, but not out to the floor. The final four in ring 2 are Bobby Eaton, the Great Muta, Terry Gordy, and Sid Vicious. And the final four, I somehow missed an elimination. Big Van Vader, Buzz Sawyer just got chokeslammed out of his boots by Big Van Vader, Brad Armstrong, and Flying Brian Pillman. Oh, and Sawyer going to work over on Big Van Vader. Big Van Vader will be making his return to Japan in the upcoming weeks. He would love to bring $50,000 with him. That yen conversion rate might not go as far, but he can buy himself a lot of Ribera steaks. And now Vader going to work, has Buzz Sawyer up with a power bomb, but no! He's gonna throw Buzz Sawyer out to the floor and crashing down! Oh, and Beautiful Bobby was eliminated. I didn't see who eliminated him, but Bobby Eaton out on the floor. So now it's down to 3 for each ring. And there's Pillman and Armstrong. If they were wise, they would double up. Oh, and Sid eliminates the Great Muta. And here we go, Sid and Terry Gordy. There's a match I'd love to see. But Armstrong and Pillman should be teaming up against Big Van Vader. They're going after each other. Gordy stomping away on Big Sid. A neckbreaker by Brian Pillman on Brad Armstrong. And Vader now has Pillman as Gordy stomps away on Big Sid Vicious. Vader has Pillman up against the ropes. Up and out goes Pillman. And Gordy and Sid exchanging blows. Sid up and over, and Gordy wins ring 2. And he will wait to see who wins ring 1 as Vader trying to toss out Armstrong, but Armstrong fighting back. Russian leg sweep on Vader as Terry Gordy celebrates in ring 2. He will wait to face off against Big Van Vader and Brad Armstrong for $50,000. And Vader going to work on Brad Armstrong. Has Armstrong against the ropes. Picks up Armstrong. Can he toss him out? And he does! It will be Big Van Vader versus Terry Gordy for $50,000. So again, Big Van Vader heading back to Japan. He will be over there for the next couple of months. And he would love to bring $50,000 with him as he takes over Gordy with a front face lock and drops him down on the stomach. And Gordy would like nothing more since Vader's introduction to the NWA here at Halloween Havoc last year. Big Van Vader is undefeated. He has yet to be pinned in a powerbomb by Terry Gordy. Goes for the cover. That could be it. Referee counts 1, 2, and a kick out at 2. Both men use that powerbomb as their finishing maneuver, and Terry Gordy nailed it in the opening seconds of this contest. Off the ropes, and Gordy drops an elbow. So Big Van Vader has beaten everybody that has stood in his path, including Terry Gordy, back in February's Clash of the Champions Texas Shootout, available on the Gotmark76 YouTube channel on demand. And Gordy going to work on Big Van Vader, who rolls out of the way. And now a Gorilla Press Slam! That's nearly 300 pounds up and down, tossed around like a toy. But Gordy takes a knee to the back and says no. Vader with a power slam down, and Gordy goes down. And Vader stomping away. Gordy slowly getting back to his feet. Vader being thrown into the turnbuckle by Gordy. Charges in the clothesline from behind. Vader wisely rolls out to the floor. And these two men are going to do battle on the floor. Vader has him up and drops him down again. The referee has begun to count. Don't ask me what happens if both men get counted out. Do they split the 50 grand? Do they both lose it? As Vader rams Gordy's head into the ring apron. Oh, and Vader going to work on Terry Gordy. Has Gordy. What's he going to do here? Gordy was going to slam Gordy against the guardrail. The referee counts up to 6 as Gordy going to work. charges and runs back into the ring, beats the count out. But wait, Gordy follows Vader out again, misses with a big right hand. And the referee has begun to count. Gordy working over Vader, throws him into the guardrail. The fans here in Baltimore getting a close bird's eye view at Big Van Vader. Vader hops over the rail, has Gordy up. And this time, trying to slam, he does. He slams Gordy over that guardrail, and that has to be it. If he rolls him in the ring, that should be all. But no, Vader doing more damage on Gordy. The referee counts up to 7, I think. 9. Vader has Gordy. He better get back in the ring. He throws Gordy into the ring, but Vader on the outside, and Gordy will win by countout. The undefeated streak of Big Van Vader comes to an end via countout, and Terry Gordy has won $50,000 in the King of the Hill. And Big Van Vader's not happy about it, and he will go to Japan and return in a couple months, I'm sure very upset. But there is your winner and $50,000 Richard Terry Gordy. Don't go away, much more Great American Bash after this quick timeout. Welcome back to the Great American Bash. The following contest was originally scheduled to be that man, Terry Funk, defending the NWA World Television Championship against Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert. Eddie Gilbert in his last contest against Terry Funk back at June's Clash of the Champions got pile-driven on the floor. Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert was part of the NWA World Television Tag Team Title Tournament, where Doom took out Eddie Gilbert after their contest, their first round opening contest. That left an opening for a challenger for Terry Funk tonight. We will find out together who he is. The NWA Championship Committee said that this man was worthy of it. And Terry Funk and the audience will find out right now as music is blaring in the background. And wait a second, that's Locker Room. This looks familiar. Who is stepping out of the locker? It's Dr. Death! Dr. Death, Steve Williams, will be getting a world television title shot here at the Great American Bash. And there he is, making his way to the ringside. Dr. Death, Steve Williams. What a shock! I mean, Dr. Death has been compiling up a great win-loss record in recent months here in the NWA. And Dr. Death slides in the ring and tells Funk to come on, big man. Funk charges a ring. Dr. Death with a clothesline, the bell rings. And Dr. Death is still in his robe with a forearm to the back. Rams Funk's head into his knee. And the fans here in Baltimore rise. Williams with a big right hand. Funk staggered, and a big right hand takes Funk down. Dr. Death with a flurry of left hands. And Gary Hart distracts Dr. Death. This is allowing Terry Funk to get up. Funk from behind. But Dr. Death swings him off and a splash in the corner. Funk goes down to the mat. Dr. Death is in complete control, and axe handle takes Funk down. Another axe, and an elbow by Funk, but a shoulder block by Dr. Death. And again, Williams with a series of left hands on the face of Terry Funk. Dr. Death in control, picks up Funk, throws him up and over the top rope, and nails Funk to the floor. And Dr. Death is following suit, picks up Funk. The referee's begun to count. And maybe that's what Funk can hope for. Here's a count-out loss. Dr. Death picks up Funk, throws him hard into the guardrail. And now Dr. Death picks up Funk and drapes him across the, oh my gosh, face first into the guardrail. Funk is in trouble, gets tossed back into the ring. And a big right hand lands on Funk, another right hand, and Funk is in trouble. Dr. Death climbing the top rope, are you kidding me? Funk lined up and misses with an elbow drop. That might be the opportunity Funk needs. A cradle from behind, but Williams makes it to the ropes. This match has been all Dr. Death, not even fun. Oh, and another elbow by Dr. Death. A jab. Has Funk in a belly-to-back suplex up and over. And again, Gary Hart for the second time in this contest is distracting Dr. Death. Funk struggling to get back to his feet. Williams runs, charges, clothesline, nails Funk. Dr. Death goes for the cover. Referee counts 1, 2, and 3. And we have a new NWA World Television Champion here at Great American Bash Glory Days. I don't think Terry Funk got 3 offensive maneuvers. He was clearly caught off guard with who his opponent was going to be. And he has nobody to blame but himself for power driving Gilbert at Clash of the Champions. And maybe throw a word or two to Doom for taking out Gilbert. But there is your winner and new NWA World Television Champion, Dr. Death Steve Williams. And there are some highlights from the contest. He gets the pinfall victory. And Dr. Death, who was originally scheduled to be part of that Battle Royal. I was wondering why Ranger Ross was in that Battle Royal. And now we know, as the NWA Championship Committee had Dr. Death in mind. Fans, don't go away. We have much more Great American Bash after this quick timeout. The U.S. Tag Team Championship is on the line as the Steiner Brothers defend against Tully and Arn. Don't go away. We'll be right back after this quick timeout. And welcome back to the Great American Bash. The following contest will be for the U.S. Tag Team Championship as the Four Horsemen, Tully Blanchard and Arn Anderson, challenge the Steiner Brothers. This is the first title match for Tully Blanchard and Arn Anderson in over a year. They were the World Tag Team Champions 1 year ago. It was at the Great American Bash last year when they entered the NWA World Tag Team Champions, lost those titles, and then went to take a 6-month hiatus. They went AWOL. When they came back, the scenery, the landscape in the NWA had changed. And fans, and quite frankly me, I thought that they were going to realign themselves with Ric Flair and reform the Four Horsemen. That did not happen, at least right away. It wasn't until recently, at the week or two before Capital Combat, when the Four Horsemen reunited. And here they are challenging Rick and Scott Steiner for the U.S. Tag Team Championships. Now, these U.S. Tag Team Championship belts have been changing hands a lot over the past several months. The Steiner brothers already multi-time U.S. Tag Team Champions. And they will look to keep their streak running. They have successfully defended those titles against the Midnight Express in recent weeks. Of course, the Midnight Express find themselves in the thick of things with the NWA World Television Tag Team titles as that tournament continues in just 2 weeks' time. And that is what we're fighting for, the NWA United States Tag Team Championship. Looks like it's going to be Rick Steiner starting off against Arn Anderson. The referee calls for the bell, and away we go. And Anderson takes the leg down of Rick Steiner. Oh, and stomping down on the knee of Rick Steiner. He's coming back with a knee to the back as the PS4 skips. And a big over right hand. And again, Anderson going for the leg. A wise maneuver, and this is what Arn and Tully are known for. They will take a body part and go to work. And now ramming that same knee down on the mat. Anderson picks up Steiner. And again takes the leg down. and drops. That's 230 some pounds across the knee of Rick Steiner. And Arn Anderson goes to the corner, tags in, and here comes Tully Blanchard. And let's see if Tully goes back to work on that knee. And before he does, he gets up on the second rope and gawks to the fans here in Baltimore. That gives Steiner a chance for an over suplex. And Rick does not make the tag. And Tully Blanchard goes back to work. Rick throws Tully into the corner. Now he makes the tag. Here comes Scott. Double team maneuver. Scott charges with a shoulder block. Owen to Rick with a splash in the corner. Throws into Scott and an over. Belly to belly suplex. And the fans here are dog hollering hoo, 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 at the Steiner brothers. And Scott is going to work on Arn Anderson. Now Scott in control. Anderson Blanchard having his arm worked over as Anderson looks over in the background. And now Scott Steiner takes a minute to show and gawk to the fans. And that gives Tully Blanchard an opportunity. An atomic drop from behind. And Tully makes the tag. And here comes Arn. Arn going after Scott. But Scott grabs Arn, throws him into the ropes. And another belly-to-belly suplex over the head, and Scott Steiner stomping away now on Arn. Steiner now working the neck of Arn Anderson. As Arn Anderson gets out and sweeps the leg, takes down Scott. Oh, and a big knee takes Scott Steiner down. One has to wonder that the tag team scene here in the NWA, as Scott has Anderson up. And a power bomb into the corner. The tag team scene here in the NWA is at an all-time high. You have these two teams. Oh, and here's Scott Steiner. A beautiful suplex and down into a power bomb. And Scott tags in. Here comes Rick. They're setting him up. It could be the Bulldog from the top rope. Rick jumps and nails him with a Bulldog, and that could be it. Rick goes for the cover. The referee counts 1, 2, and 3. And Rick and Scott Steiner successfully defend the U.S. Tag Team Championship here at the Great American Bash Glory Days. And I don't think Tully came in the ring to save Arn because he thought Arn had this in control, but when you nail that devastating Bulldog off the top rope, and here's another view, another look at it, I'm not sure if anybody's going to get up, including the World Tag Team Champions, the Road Warriors, who we will see later on tonight. But your winners and still U.S. Tag Team Champions, Rick and Scott, the Steiner brothers. Fans, we have much more Great American Bash coming your way, including the grudge match between Dusty Rhodes and Nikita Koloff. Don't go away. We'll be right back after this quick timeout. And welcome back to the Great American Bash. This will be a grudge match, as Nikita Koloff, the Russian Nightmare, will take on the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. And there is a lot of history between these two men. Recently, let's go back to January of this past year. Dusty Rhodes got betrayed by the Legion of Doom, the Road Warriors, the World Tag Team Champions. So when Dusty Rhodes was looking for a tag team partner, he didn't have to look very far. That man, Nikita Koloff, his superpower partner, immediately came to the side of the American Dream. They defeated the Road Warriors for the World Tag Team Championship and held those titles for a few weeks. The Legion of Doom did regain the World Tag Team titles, but everything seemed fine. Enter Capital Combat, when Nikita Koloff faced off against Big Van Vader. Big Van Vader won the match and then powerbombed Nikita Koloff on the outside floor. Dusty Rhodes took offense to that and challenged Big Van Vader to last month's Clash of the Champions Miami Mayhem. Well, Big Van Vader defeated Dusty Rhodes as well. And at the conclusion of the match, Nikita Koloff attacked and Russian sickled Dusty Rhodes. And here's Nikita grabbing a chair from under the ring. The referee hasn't begun the match. Oh, and a big chair shot. The bell is rung now. And Nikita firing away with the steel chair on Dusty Rhodes. It is shocking to me how fast this friendship has gone down the tubes. It's almost as if Nikita was let down. Oh, and an overhead suplex by Nikita. It's almost as if Nikita was upset with his loss to Vader back at Capital Combat and then took it out on Dusty, because I have no explanation. Oh, but Dusty blocks that chair shot and throws the chair back at Nikita. Dusty throws Nikita into the ring. Maybe we'll get some resemblance of a wrestling match here as Dusty kicks away Nikita. The bell has rung. Dusty's still in his entrance attire, and they are exchanging blows in the middle of the ring. Dusty throws Nikita into the turnbuckle chest first. Charges up with a clothesline from behind. And the fans here in Baltimore cheering for both men as Nikita and Dusty exchange blows. What a wild match this has been in the very beginning. Nikita attacking Dusty with a steel chair. Now he's on the second turnbuckle, and he drops a fist across the forehead of the American Dream. Goes for the cover. Will he make sure it works? Dusty won, and Nikki got it won by the Dream. An exciting event thus far. We have new NWA World Television Champion and Steve Dr. Death Williams. And of course, we still have the NWA World Tag Team Championship and the US, and of course the World Heavyweight title. As Dusty now getting in control. Ramming Nikita's head into the top turnbuckle. The fans counting along 10 times, and down goes Nikita. Dusty rolls over Nikita, goes for the cover. This could be it. One. And a kick out at one by Nikita. So both men exchanging one count, in the early going of this contest. And a big right hand by Dusty sends Nikita down. These two men, the former superpowers, I guess they can't be the superpowers any longer. Former World Tag Team Champions. And Nikita said in his interview earlier that he wants to erase the memory of him and Dusty. And Dusty again ramming Nikita head first. The fans count again. Oh, but Nikita blocks it and rams Dusty into the top turnbuckle. And Nikita a little worse for wear there. And Dusty fires back, picks up Nikita with a scoop slam. Oh, but a reversal by Nikita. Up and down with a power slam. Nikita takes down Dusty. Goes for the cover. Referee counts 1, 2, and a kick out at 2 by Dusty. discus punch by Nikita lands and rocks Dusty. And Nikita was going for a Gorilla Press slam. Dusty blocked it. Dream thrown into the ropes, and a big axe handle takes Dusty Rhodes down. Now Nikita goes for the cover. This could be it. 1, 2, and the kick out again at 2. So a few near falls by Nikita, unable to put Dusty away, and nails him with a big right hand. Nikita going back to work, drops an elbow across the chest. And Dusty Rhodes is in trouble. This match was back and forth, but Nikita has controlled the last several minutes. And these two men, as a tag team, were phenomenal. Again, former World Tag Team champions. Individually, they are both top contenders to all major titles here in the NWA. So one would think that the winner of this match will have some implications for future title shots. As Nikita 1, 2 over Dusty, and through a kick out. Dusty almost pinning Nikita again. So Nikita has several near falls on Dusty. Dusty again blocks a Gorilla Press slam. Nikita, though, with a big right hand, takes Dusty down. Of course, the team that defeated them for the World Tag Team Championships, the Road Warriors, will defend those titles later on tonight against the Rock and Roll Express. And a bionic elbow nails Nikita. Dusty goes for the cover. Referee counts 1, 2, and 3. No, a kick out by Nikita. And Dusty arguing the speed of the count, but Nikita kicks out. Oh, and Nikita's been busted open. That bionic elbow by Dusty busted open Nikita. And Nikita firing back. Nikita now, I think he saw the blood and got more upset. And now has Dusty tied up into the ropes in a series of forearms across the chest. Oh man, and a big right hand by Nikita. Nikita back in control. With another right hand. A forearm to the back. Nikita firing up. He almost got pinned by the bionic elbow, barely kicked out. Saw the blood and has been a madman since. Another fist off the top rope. And now Nikita going to the outside. What's he oh no, is he going to grab that chair? Now, this isn't necessarily a no disqualification match. There's a lot of leeway here. The referee letting him get away with this. Wedges the chair in the ropes. And Nikita with a punch. Is he going to throw Dusty into the chair? And he does! Dusty goes head first into the steel chair. The referee allows it to happen. I think he knows this is a grudge match, wants to give these two men a chance to get their emotions out. And Dusty misses with an elbow, Nikita misses with an elbow, allowing Dusty to recover. And now Dusty with a submission maneuver on Nikita. Nikita's trying to make it to the ropes. I don't see Nikita tapping out to this maneuver, as Dusty has not done enough damage to the upper back. And Nikita gets out of it by pulling Dusty's leg. With a big chop by Nikita. A big forearm by Nikita. A kick. And Nikita is in control. Throws Dusty into the ropes. Oh, but Dusty with a knee to the head. And a clothesline in the corner by Nikita. These two men are going at it. Off the ropes and a stomp by Nikita on Dusty. On a clothesline up and over the top rope goes the American Dream. Nikita follows him out to the floor. And again, the referee very lenient, not counting these men out of the ring. I think the NWA Board of Directors has told the referee for this contest not to be so conservative with the rules. I think the NWA wants these two men to hash out their issues. And they're now in the stands here in Baltimore. A headbutt by Nikita. They are now out in the stands here in Baltimore. The people in Baltimore getting a bird's eye view of two of the top performers here in the National Wrestling Alliance. Oh, and Dusty's been busted open now. Both men have been busted open in this contest. Nikita throws Dusty. Looks like a couple chairs and some stage equipment back there. And Nikita again has a chair. Oh, and he bashes Dusty with a chair. Let's see how long the referee lets this go on for. A third chair shot. This match is not advertised as a no disqualification match, but the referee very lenient with the rules here. And Dusty gets the chair out of Nikita's hands. Has Nikita and working the leg, and Nikita's Dusty. Of course, Rhodes has used that figure 4 leg lock on several occasions. And Dusty heading back to the ring. Nikita lying in the crowd. I think I just saw a beer thrown on him. And now Dusty back in the ring. Trying to get the fans behind him as Nikita trying to make it back to the ring, I think. Here he comes. And both men busted open, so maybe their vision and or thoughts aren't 100% with them. But Nikita slowly walking to the other side of the ring. And there's that damn chair again. Nikita picks up that chair and rams it into the stomach of Dusty Rhodes. Referee giving Nikita a warning about the chair, so Nikita throws it down. Nikita has Dusty up, and a spike pile driver. Down goes the American Dream, and that might be it. Nikita Koloff has put away many opponent with this spike pile driver. And will he be able to put away Dusty Rhodes? Nikita not going for the cover, but getting that chair again. Oh, and nails Dusty with it. Now Nikita measuring up Dusty. Oh, and goes for a swing, but misses. Dusty gets the chair out of Nikita's hands. Dusty has Nikita. And an atomic drop down. Dusty setting him up. Nikita back to his feet. Dusty with a jab. Another bionic elbow takes Nikita down. Nikita's not moving. Dusty just hit another bionic elbow, the second of the contest. And Nikita's down. Dusty goes for the cover. 1, 2, and 3. And the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, with a measure of revenge against his former ally, Nikita Koloff. Here are some highlights from earlier in the contest. What a war these two men just had. And Nikita Koloff, with several near falls in the contest, was unable to put Dusty away. But it took not one but 2 bionic elbows by Dusty Rhodes to pin Nikita Koloff. There was the first. And of course, Nikita's best friend during this contest was a steel chair. And here's that spike pile driver that was unable to pin Dusty. Did not go for the cover, I must say. But there is your winner, the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. Fans, the following contest will be for the World Tag Team Championship as the Road Warriors take on the Rock and Roll Express. Don't go away, we'll be right back after this quick timeout. And welcome back to the Great American Bash. There they are, Ricky and Robert, the Rock and Roll Express. And they will challenge Hawk and Animal, the Road Warriors, for the NWA World Tag Team Championship. The Road Warriors having their way with almost every team they faced since winning the World Tag Team titles back in October. Now, they had that hiccup against Dusty and Nikita that we saw the conclusion of just moments ago. So, since October, they've been World Tag Team Champions minus about a 3-week title reign for the Superpowers, or the former Superpowers. And the Road Warriors taking on all challengers for those tag titles. And there they are. Hawk on the left, Animal on the right, making their way to the ring. But the tag team scene here in the National Wrestling Alliance is probably at its greatest ever. You have these two teams here, the World Tag Team Champions, the Rock and Roll Express. You have the Steiner Brothers, the U.S. Tag Team Champions, the Horsemen, who we saw earlier tonight, Tully and Arn. You have the Samoan SWAT team, the Midnight Express, Doom, the Skyscrapers, Tommy Rich, and Eddie Gilbert. So a plethora of tag teams here in the NWA as the referee gets knocked down. And Hawk nails both Ricky and Robert with the World Tag Team title belt. The Road Warriors haven't even gotten off their football pads, and they're going to work on Ricky and Robert. Animal in the ring with Robert, while Ricky and Hawk are on the outside. And a Russian leg sweep by Animal in the ring. And a shoulder block by Hawk on the outside. An Animal ramming Robert's head into the turnbuckle. And the fans counted 10 times. And again, Hawk with the World Tag Team title belt behind the referee's back. And Hawk nailing Ricky Morton with it. Animal going for the cover in the ring, 1. And a kick out at 1. This is a tornado-style match. All 4 men in the ring, or in this case, half of them outside, is again Hawk with a series of shots with the World Tag Team Title Championship belt. Hawk picks up Morton, has him up, and a gut-wrench powerbomb down. And now Animal climbing the top rope. But Robert, fighting his way out, has Animal perched on the top turnbuckle. And setting him up, could it be a superplex? Gibson has Animal, and across the ring goes Animal, as Hawk throws Morton on the outside guardrail. Fast and furious action, Gibson going for the cover, 1, and a kick out of 1. And wait a second, Morton's on the outside, and now Hawk makes his way into the ring, but Gibson throws Animal out. I thought there was a chance for a 2-on-1 Road Warrior attack. That wasn't meant to be, as Hawk now going after Gibson. And a double team maneuver by the Road Warriors as Animal now goes after Ricky Morton with a Russian leg sweep. Hawk with a backbreaker slam on Gibson. Oh man, these 4 men leaving nothing on the mat. They're doing everything in their power to win this match. Animal has Gibson up in a slam, fall away slam, beautifully done by Animal on the outside floor. The Rock and Roll Express are being manhandled. Their only offense in this contest has more or less been a superplex by Robert Gibson. Everything else has been defensive. And Hawk slides back into the ring. Animal and Morton going at it. Morton. Oh, clothesline into the ring. Animal has Morton. Gibson finally back to his feet. He slides in. And Gibson and Hawk going at it. Into the ropes goes Gibson. A power slam by Animal. And a belly-to-belly suplex by Hawk. Hawk now climbing the top rope. Could it be that guillotine clothesline? He's setting up Gibson, but Morton up. Morton trying to go after Hawk. Animal slams Morton down, and there's that guillotine clothesline, nailing Robert Gibson. And that might be a grill press slam by Animal 2 and 3. And the Road Warriors have manhandled the Rock. These are former World Tag Team and U.S. Tag Team champions. And the Road Warriors had their way with them. And they successfully retain the NWA World Tag Team Championship here at the Great American Bash. Can any team stop these guys? The last team that did it are no longer together and are fighting a blood feud with each other. Can any tag team stand up to the Road Warriors? What a display of power on behalf of Hawk and Animal. And here comes that guillotine clothesline. And he nearly took off Robert Gibson's head. He's going for the cover. That was it. There it is, a third time. Wow, what a maneuver. Fans, the U.S. title's on the line next, as Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff defends against Sting. And then, of course, our big main event, Lex Luger versus Ric Flair. Don't go away. We'll be right back after this quick timeout. And welcome back to the Great American Bash. The following contest is scheduled for one fall and is for the United States Heavyweight Championship. Making his way to the ring from Venice Beach, California, weighing 260 pounds, this is Sting. It was back at the Great American Bash in June, Miami Mayhem, when Sting teamed with his friend Lex Luger to take on Horsemen members Paul Orndorff and Ric Flair. It was an elimination tag team match, and Sting pinned the World Heavyweight Champion but got bested by Paul Orndorff for the pile driver. Sting, named the #1 contender to the U.S. title, was given this opportunity here at the Great American Bash, and Paul Orndorff, who does have the momentum in his favor after pinning Sting in that match at the Clash of the Champions, is looking to keep that momentum going. And here he comes, the United States Heavyweight Champion and member of the Four Horsemen, Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff. He, of course, is from Tampa, Florida, and weighs 252 pounds. And Paul Orndorff, debuting in the NWA just a couple of short months ago, he was disguised as RoboCop and helped Ric Flair retain the World Heavyweight Championship at Capital Combat. Immediately became the fourth member of the Four Horsemen. And Mr. Wonderful has been riding high since debuting. He won the U.S. Heavyweight Championship from the Total Package Lex Luger back on June 10th. So a little less than a month, or a little bit more than a month, as U.S. Champion. This will be his toughest task to date as the referee calls for the bell, and away we go. A collar and elbow tie-up, and Sting with a headlock on Orndorff. These two men, no strangers to each other. They faced off again last month at the Clash of the Champions, where Mr. Wonderful got the better of Sting. But Sting made quite the impression on the NWA Championship Committee. A title match was signed. Orndorff up with a suplex. And look at the strength of Mr. Wonderful. Squatting with Sting on his shoulders and down to the mat. Of course, our main event this evening, the Total Package Lex Luger challenges Ric Flair for the NWA World Heavyweight title. This will be Lex Luger's last opportunity at the World Heavyweight title with Ric Flair as a world champion. And Orndorff takes down Sting. Goes for the cover. Referee position counts 1. And the kick out at 1 by Sting. And Paul Orndorff has been on quite the run since debuting here in the NWA. Sting in the corners, clothesline. Thought he may have been going for the Stinger splash, but too early. Rolls over Orndorff, goes for the cover. 1, 2, and 3. No, a kick out by Orndorff. Oh, a charging clothesline in the corner almost took the U.S. title for Mr. Wonderful. And Sting working the arm of Orndorff, but Orndorff fights back. And a short arm clothesline takes the Stinger down. And Orndorff gloats in the corner, but Sting back to his feet. Oh, but Orndorff for the clothesline, and Sting is down. Orndorff goes for the cover. Orndorff's feet on the ropes, but a kick out at one by the Stinger. Orndorff trying to cheat and take that victory. And here is a reverse backbreaker by Mr. Wonderful. Is Sting going to tap out? The referee's asking Sting, trying to maneuver his body, and able to break the arm. It takes Orndorff up and over. Sting reversing the hold. And Orndorff charges Sting. Going for double axe handle, blocked by Sting. Into the turnbuckle goes Orndorff. And the PS4 skips. And Sting working the arm of Mr. Wonderful. Of course, we have a very special 30th year anniversary special of the Great American Bash, the Glory Days. That will be for you next week here on the Gotmark76 YouTube channel. But for right now, Sting. And wait a second, Orndorff grabbing a steel chair and throws the chair down. And if Orndorff uses that chair, he will be disqualified, but he'll retain the U.S. title. Goes for the cover. On top one, and a kick out at one by Sting. Orndorff throws Sting up and over the top rope. And the referee's begun to count. Mr. Wonderful will take a count-out victory here. And so will Ric Flair in our main event. He doesn't matter how he wins. If Ric Flair can somehow defeat Lex Luger, it will be the last time he has to face a total package. As Sting comes back. Picks up Orndorff. Reversal by Orndorff. Into the turnbuckle goes Sting. Orndorff charges with a clothesline of his own. And down goes Sting. And Orndorff setting up Sting. What's he have in mind here? Another suplex, perhaps. Sting blocks it. And a reversal suplex of his own. Up and over goes Orndorff. And Sting says that's it. And the fans respond. Well, reversal by Orndorff. Into the turnbuckle goes Sting. And Orndorff again charged with a clothesline. And a gorilla press slam down across the knee. Orndorff goes for the cover, but Sting makes it to the ropes. And that could have been it. Sting, very fortunate to land near the ropes. And Orndorff has him up and spikes him with a pile driver. And Mr. Wonderful will retain the U.S. Heavyweight title here against Sting if he can go for the cover. And he does, and that should be it. 1, 2, and 3. No! Sting kicks out! And Orndorff can't believe it, but he's staying on the attack, and a suplex slam by Orndorff. And now Orndorff going to the turnbuckle. Wait a second, what? And Orndorff removing the top turnbuckle pad. Wait a second, what does he have in store? He's gonna throw Sting hard into the turnbuckle, chest first. Orndorff from behind, a belly-to-back suplex, up and over goes Sting. Orndorff's gonna retain. Referee counts 1, 2, and a kick out at 2. And don't ask me how Sting is doing it, but he's kicking out at each time. And the referee addressing the turnbuckle pad. And Orndorff with a sit-down slam. And Sting is in trouble. Orndorff again goes for the cover, and oh, Sting makes it to the ropes. Orndorff picks up Sting. What's he have in mind here? I think Orndorff's in shock, and Sting reverses it into the corner. Sting trying to fight back. Takes Orndorff down. He's going for the Scorpion. And Sting has Orndorff, but Orndorff made it to the ropes. Oh man, Orndorff fortunately was close to the ropes. And his arm was under the bottom rope, but Sting rolling over Orndorff goes for the cover. Referee counts 1. Doing the kick out at 2 by Mr. Wonderful. The fans here in Baltimore have risen. They can feel this match coming to its climax. As Sting picks up Orndorff. Going for a clothesline. Orndorff takes him down. Oh, and that halted the momentum of Sting. Orndorff picks up Sting again. Into the ropes goes Sting. Oh, and it's a checkmate. Stalemate. Checkmate. Oh, and Orndorff. Orndorff clothesline the referee. Sting clothesline to Orndorff. The referee was putting the turnbuckle pad up on the top turnbuckle. And Orndorff just blatantly nailed the referee. And Sting working has a nerve hold on Orndorff. Sting stomping away, working the arm of Mr. Wonderful. Oh man, Orndorff's in trouble. Sting rolls over Orndorff, the referee getting back to his feet. The referee's gonna count 1, 2, 3, and Sting has won the U.S. Heavyweight title here at the Great American Bash. And I don't believe it, but here are some highlights from earlier in the contest. And wait a second, we need to go back to live action. Tommy Young is in the ring. Tommy Young is having words with Nick Patrick. And what are they discussing here? I think Tommy Young is letting Nick Patrick know that Orndorff closed on from behind, but here is again another replay. Now, wait at Nick Patrick going over to Gary Michael Capetta. Sting has the U.S. title. But what's going on here? We need to get the official word. Tommy Young, there's a clothesline, a deliberate clothesline by Orndorff, and there it is again. And Sting has the U.S. title.
Just been informed by the referee. Mr. Wonderful has been disqualified. The winner of the match is Sting!
There's Gary Michael Capetta with it!
However, because of the disqualification, the title cannot change hands.
Oh, man!
Therefore, still...
Orndorff is going to hold on to the U.S. title in the disqualification!
Mr. Wonderful!
Oh, and Sting just takes out Tommy Young! That's going to cost him some money! Fans, our main event is next! As Lex Luger challenges Ric Flair, don't go away! We'll be right back after this quick timeout! And that is what it's all about, the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. Lex Luger has been on quite a roll, but let's go back to December as a collar and elbow tie-up between these two. Lex Luger in December, the NWA United States Heavyweight Champion, wanted to face the NWA World Heavyweight Champion for that title. The NWA Championship Committee instead had him defend against Flying Brian Pillman. So Luger thought it was his destiny to win the world title at Starrcade. That match did not happen. Fast forward from December to February, and it was Wrestle War. And as Ric Flair began to realign himself with Tully Blanchard and Arn Anderson to regain the form of the Four Horsemen, Luger briefly aligned himself with the JTEX Corporation to help those numbers. And then, of course, it blew up at Capital Combat when RoboCop was hired by the NWA to prevent outside interference from happening, only to have RoboCop be Paul Orndorff, who would go on to become the newest member of the Horsemen as Luger with a power slam. So each and every time Lex Luger has faced Ric Flair, it's been a different match, a different story, if you will. And the story for this one is simple. If Luger does not win the world title, he will not have another opportunity as Ric Flair, with Ric Flair being the world champion. But Ric Flair cannot rely on interference from his fellow Horseman members, because if he does, he'll lose the title. He goes for a cover here. 1, 2, and throw a kick out by Luger. So both men have so much to fight for here, the world title at stake. And Flair with a spike pile driver, and Luger goes down. An elbow by Flair. A reversal by Luger. And these two men know each other so well. Another reversal by Flair this time. They've been in the ring together for several months, as Luger has Flair up and the PS4 skips. But he got a few punches before Flair shoved Luger down. And now Flair going to work on the total package. So the Horsemen are intact. Earlier tonight, Paul Orndorff lost the U.S. Heavyweight Championship to Sting. And Tully Blanchard and Arn Anderson came up just short against the Steiner Brothers for the U.S. Tag Team Championship. So Flair trying to be the glue that holds the Horsemen together as Luger goes for a cover. Can we have a new champ? 1! And a kick out at 1 by Flair. And I'm not sure what's more dangerous, having championship gold in the Horsemen or having no gold in the Horsemen and having them chase the champions around the country. And Luger firing away. He says it's his destiny to become world champion and that the time for talking is done. And Flair said that Luger needs to walk that aisle. Can he do it? Flair does not think so, but the fans here in Baltimore do, as Luger's on top. 1, and a kick out at 1. An inside cradle by Luger. Has Flair surprise. 1, 2, and a kick out by 2. And Flair caught off guard with that inside cradle by Luger. Luger continuing to go to work. His friend Sting won the U.S. title earlier tonight. In fact, we've had a few title changes. The TV title changed as Steve Dr. Death Williams defeated Terry Funk. Sting defeated Paul Orndorff. Will we have the third title change of the night as Flair goes to work on the arm of Lex Luger? And now Flair slowing down the pace, putting all the pressure on the neck and head of Lex Luger. You can be as strong and as powerful as you want, but if you can't breathe, it doesn't do anybody any good. And Flair has Luger into the turnbuckles. Charges and an elbow by Luger. Fireman's carry by Flair. Again, these men know each other so well. They can reverse each other's move like it's second nature. And Flair, staying on top of Luger, has the momentum, stomping away. Lines up Luger and drops the knee across the forehead of the Total Package. But Luger, trying to fight back with a short arm clothesline, takes Flair down. Luger now going to work on Flair, and a clothesline. Another clothesline takes Flair down. Flair misses with a clothesline. Luger off the ropes with a clothesline. And the Total Package feels it here in Baltimore. The fans have risen. Will we have a new world champion? Luger picks up Flair. Charges in a running clothesline. And Luger feels it. We know what happens after that running clothesline. Will Luger go for the torture rack? He picks up Flair. Here it comes. Luger has Flair in the torture rack. Flair in the middle of the ring. Is Flair gonna submit? Will we have a new champion? Luger has Flair. Flair trying to escape. Flair shifting his body, trying to punch the head of Luger. Can he get around to do it? Luger has it locked in. Flair is close to tapping. The referee's asking, and Flair again shifting his body. And there, in the back of the head a third time. Breaks the maneuver, and Flair able to escape the torture rack. And now Flair going for the figure four. He has a four locked in. Will Luger be able to turn it over? Will he be able to? He's far away from the ropes. Can Luger reverse it or fight his way out? Luger trying to. He's trying to turn it over, and he does. Oh, and all the pressure on Flair's knees. Luger has Flair. And an inside cradle. Can we have a new champion? 1, 2, and 3. No! Flair gets his shoulder up. Flair pushes Luger off. What a back and forth contest. Flair goes over the top rope, but Luger knows he can't win this match by a count out. So he goes after Flair on the outside. The referee has begun the count. So Flair somehow escaped the torture rack. Luger somehow rolled over the figure four. This is a war for the NWA World Heavyweight Title. Oh, and Flair now going to work on the leg of Luger. He wants to get that figure four on again. And here it comes. Flair locking in the figure four. Luger trying to turn it over again. Can he make the ropes? Can he turn it over? Luger fighting off the pain. Flair really trying to sink it in. He has it locked in. The referee's asking Luger if he wants to quit. Luger trying to get out, trying to escape. Luger fighting, and with a series of right hands breaks the maneuver, and that's twice now. He's gotten out of the figure four. And Luger fighting back, the momentum in the Total Package's corner, but an elbow up the ropes catches Luger. And that puts a halt to Luger's momentum. He reversed the figure four, got out of the figure four. And now Flair with a high knee lift takes Luger down. And what a contest here. This has been a great match thus far and a great night of action. We thank you for tuning in as Luger fights back. Flair is stunned. Another inside cradle. Will we have a new champion? 1, 2, and 3. No, Luger again pushed off by Flair. Luger throws Flair hard into the ropes and a gorilla press slam. Down goes Flair. Luger lining up Flair, nails him with a punch. Off the ropes, Flair thrown across the ring. And a power slam beautifully done by Lex Luger. I think Luger's wasting time. He's not going for a cover there. Luger lining him up. Could it be another torture rack? He is setting Flair up. Oh, now he's picking him up. Charges Flair, but and a shoulder block takes Flair down. Front face lock by Luger, and here comes an abdominal stretch. Luger doesn't quite have his leg locked behind Flair's. And Flair able to take Luger over with a hip toss and break the maneuver. And now Flair going to work on the arm. A wise move, as if Luger doesn't have the arm to lift Flair up in the torture rack, he can't use that maneuver. And now Flair going to work on the neck of the package. But the package sweeps the leg and takes Flair down. Luger charged for that clothesline, but Flair moved out of the way. Luger into the ropes. Caught an elbow, but Luger acted as if it didn't stun him. And the clothesline takes Flair down. Oh, and the Flair wisely rolls out to the floor before Luger could get that torture rack on again. Oh, and Flair knocking Luger to the floor here. And Luger now in trouble as Flair stomps away. And a chop by Flair. Oh, and Luger's in trouble against the guardrail. The referee's begun to count. He's up to 3. And a leg takedown by Flair. Flair throws Luger in the ring. Maybe Flair just wants to put an end to this once and for all. If he can pin Luger convincingly and not need to resort to a count out or disqualification, then he can get the eyes of the NWA Championship Committee to be focused on him as a fighting champion. Oh, and Flair stomps away and Luger's been busted open. The bottom of Flair's boot caught Luger's forehead. And Luger now going to work again on the leg. Flair trying to set up that figure 4 again, going to work on the leg of Luger, who's been busted open. And Flair again takes down Luger. Working the leg again. And Flair clearly setting up for the figure 4. A reversal by Luger throws Flair up and over the top. And a punch takes Flair to the floor. Luger again going out wisely. Can't beat Flair by a count out if he wants to be world champion, which of course he does. And now they're fighting on the outside, but Luger needs to be mindful of the count. And a big right hand takes Flair down. An elbow drop. Luger needs to get Flair back in the ring. Up to 5. And he does. And Luger lining up Flair with a double axe handle. Luger picks up Flair. Gorilla press slam. Up and down. And Luger's cut above his eye. Bleeding profusely, but the Maryland Athletic Commission, not at ringside for this contest, cannot stop the match. And Luger working the arm of Flair. The blood streaming down his face as Flair fights out. Luger needs to put this thing away as the endurance of Flair can actually work in his favor. Luger throws Flair across the ring, up and over, and an inside cradle again. Referee was out of position 1, 2, and 3. No, again. Flair breaks the maneuver. Luger picks up Flair, reversal. Luger goes into the turnbuckle. Oh, and a kick by Luger. Roll up from behind. Luger has Flair pinned, but Flair makes it to the ropes. What does Luger have to do? Throws Flair across the ring again for the 4th time. And Luger couldn't even charge and Flair caught him with a kick. But Luger beats Flair with a punch. Luger has Flair into the ropes. Going for a power slam blocked by Flair. But here did not block. The Gorilla Press slam, down goes Flair. Luger setting up Flair. He charges and nails him with a clothesline. Can Luger get the torture rack on Flair again? He's lining him up. He has Flair in a torture rack. He's locked in. Flair has nowhere to go. Can Flair escape this time? Flair has nowhere to go. And Flair taps. Luger has won the NWA World Heavyweight title here at the Great American Bash. What a back and forth contest this was. As Flair got out of the initial torture rack, Luger got out of the figure four twice. But Flair could not escape the torture rack the second time. And Lex Luger's destiny has been fulfilled here in Baltimore. What a match and what a night of great NWA wrestling. Fans, there is your winner and new World Heavyweight Champion, the Total Package, Lex Luger. We thank you for tuning in to Gotmark76. Lex Luger, the new World Heavyweight Champion. Fans, we'll see you next time. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.